Hey, you want to talk about some style trends real quick that I think we're going to see in 2021? In this video, I'm going to go over a few style trend predictions and just give you my thoughts on what's going to be popular and prevalent in 2021 coming up in this video. Just like everyone else in the world, 2020 took it out of me. I mean, I'm just like a lot of other people, I had some time to be a little bit lazy. With that, loungewear just started popping off. Sweats. And I don't think that's going anywhere in 2021. I think sweats are just going to become more mainstream. It's going to be more acceptable to wear sweats outside. I think just because a lot more people have them in their closet now. So loungewear, I think luxe loungewear it really started popping off. I think we're going to see more characterized loungewear, stuff with a little bit more oomph to it, you know, some tapering, but it's still going to be loungewear overall. And if you look around, most companies have already adapted to this. If you just look at some of the websites, you can see loungewear is on the forefront of the page. It's right there at the top and it's easy to find. And I think it's gonna stay there. So another trend that I think is just gonna continue and get even bigger in 2021 are loose and baggy fitting clothes. I even think that suits will start to look a little bit more baggy. Even the only thing I will say, like dress shirts and stuff like that, will stay the same, but the blazers and the dress pants and slacks will probably go back to more loose fitting, you know, a little bit more relaxed fit. But overall, it's not going anywhere. So if you have some baggy stuff, don't throw it out yet, because you're probably gonna get some few more years out of it. All right, so there's a single pair of shoes that I actually want to talk about, and that is the Nike Blazer Mid 77. Now, last year, Air Force Ones had their time. I think Air Force Ones just blew up. I think mainly because of, again, TikTok was just those were the things to wear with almost any outfit. I'm like, good grief. But I think the Blazers are up next. Now, one, they're super affordable. Two, they have that vintage look. And three, they low-key were sold out in a lot of the basic colors really fast during the holidays just now. So I think that's what we're gonna start seeing a lot of coming up. And you know, they've been gaining some traction, but I think we're really about to see, especially in the summer, they look like a great summer shoe, but I think we're gonna see a lot of Nike Blazers coming up. And that actually leads me to my next point, which is vintage will continue to dominate in 2021. One, because vintage is already baggy and looser fitting, whether it's 80s or 90s vintage, most of that stuff is a little bit looser fitting. Now, it's not early 2000s crazy baggy, but it is, you know, loose and more relaxed. Not only that, but one word, TikTok. TikTok got its dirty mitts on vintage and baggy clothing, and it just took off from there. Not only kids are wearing it, teenagers, you know, college students, and even people into their 30s and 40s are still wearing it and getting into vintage and baggy clothes. So it's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think we're really gonna see it. Not only that, but if you look at the bigger companies, they're also doing like these vintage programs. Guess actually has a whole vintage store you can go buy straight from them, recycle, reuse, and all that other stuff. And also Levi's, they have their own vintage program where you can get certified vintage wear from them as well. So vintage is just going to keep going. I think in later times we'll probably start to see the luxury brands start to do it as well. Vintage is going to be here for a while. Maybe, you know, maybe 2022 it might be a different case, but for now, vintage is where it's at. So just for the hell of it, I threw something real bold in there, and I'm thinking cable knits are going to be worn in the summer. Now, I don't mean cable knit like full sweaters, but cable knit is going to be a thing. Like, I just think it's going to be a thing into the spring at least, and maybe into the summer. I don't know how it's going to work, but I keep seeing it coming up more and more. And, you know, it might just be because it's winter. It really just might be, but I think there's something to it here. All right, so now this one, I just think it's a dope look personally. I love seeing it, but not only that, I'm seeing a lot more influencers do it. So they're usually early adopters about it, but I think it's starting to pick up a little bit more traction. We'll see though, and that is monochromatic fits. I think it's so dope. You need some confidence to pull it off, but I think the people who do pull it off very well, just the different shades of one color, such a dope look. It's so clean. Monochromatic's gonna be it. I don't know how it's gonna be pulled off in the summers or the spring, but I'm waiting to see. I think it's gonna keep going. This one's been more of a slow grind to get up to the top, and I think it's just because it takes a lot of infrastructure and a lot of companies really changing how they operate. And I think it's just gonna keep going this way. But sustainable fashion is just gonna grow tenfold, I think, reusing and recycling, not only just vintage, but even more recent stuff. And I think it's just gonna be people, we're gonna start getting people like, are your clothes sustainable? Kind of thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta.
You know, we don't have a jacuzzi.
Can you believe that? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi?
I think it's just gonna be one of those things where we start scrutinizing companies and just the industry as a whole more on where stuff is made and where it came from. So tell me in the comments below what you think 2021 style trends will look like, because I think we're gonna see some wild stuff, honestly. I really do. I think it's gonna be something a little bit different.